Bulabinaka, Fiji, and welcome to Gold FM's Speak Your Mind. And today, as anticipated, we've been chatting about this topic for quite, a few days, and I think over a week or so. The new designs for the new Fiji flags. 23 designs, and here on the show, joining me is from the National Flag Committee Secretariat, is Ms. Bernadette Mbaimarama and Ms. Dimaima Vakanteombuka. Thank you for coming on the show, ladies. It's always a great change to have beautiful presence in our studio. So thank you again for joining us. A very important issue, and I'm sure you've heard of various comments and also ideas that have been suggested. But it's been a really difficult journey to get to this point in itself. Over 2,000 entries to get to these 23 designs. Before we get to the designs, can you just walk us through briefly about the process from choosing these designs from over 2,000 entries?
Bula Pedeli and Bula everybody. So yes, as you've mentioned, it's been quite a process, and it is of national importance. So we understand that everybody is getting involved, and but that's something that we're anticipated. So as you all may know, we've had 2,000 submissions. The competition was open in March and closed in May, and so we received it from all corners of the globe. We've got it from Hawaii, we had someone from the Philippines, everybody. So a committee was formed that was chaired by the Honorable Assistant Minister for Sports, Mr. Lesson Dalana, and in himself a sportsman and an icon in Fiji. And they were tasked with sort of finding a way to bring the 2,000 submissions and bring it down to flags or final flags that could be recognized as Fijian by all Fijian people. Mm-hmm. And that was a huge task ahead of the committee, and we thank them all for taking part in the process. So just a little bit about what happened during the committee meetings and the process that was involved was that they saw all 2,000 submissions. They all made an effort to have a look at all the submissions that were received. And then from there, we had a vexillologist, a consultant, Mr. Ted Kay, and he gave us some basic principles on flag design. And so from there, they sort of sussed it out. And as you see, the 23 flags that we have submitted to the public is an amalgamation of different designs and concepts from the 2,000 submissions that we received. So now our task at hand at this point that we're undertaking is a consultative process. We want the views and the feedback from everyone in Fiji to be heard, to contribute to the flag that we're going to eventually call our own. And so what we're doing is at this point we're going out to the outer islands. We're going to Lao. Our team leaves for Kandavu tonight. Mm-hmm. We're going to Lao tomorrow, Upper Southern Lao the next day, and we will go to Vanua Levu the next week. And we're just wanting, and it's available on social media, and we've put these platforms out in the public for people to provide feedback. Okay. I think what we want to stress now is that these are not the final 23 flags.
I think that's where the main misconception is. Yeah. Everyone assumes that if you just don't mind me just grabbing this. Sure. These are the 23 designs that I'm sure many of you are not too familiar with. But if you haven't been looking at the ads in the papers, on television, well, here they are, right here in studio. 23 designs does not mean one of these would actually be the national symbol.
No, definitely not.
What we're trying to reflect with the 23 designs is the basic blue and the noble banner blue. So that's going to stay, and that's going to be on the new national flag. Mm-hmm. The other things that we're trying to reflect in the 23 are the Fijian symbols. Yes. So you'll see the ndrua, you'll see the turtle, and then you'll see the one at the bottom is the tapa print. So what we need from people is for them to let us know what symbols they feel best represent Fiji. So if they text us in, or we're pushing the website, because when you go to the website, www.newfijiflag.com, that's where you can give us your comments and suggestions. So at the end of the process, what could happen is that none of these 23 flags are the final. It could be a combination of the 23 or two of the 23. but we need to hear from people.
So we've got some so far had some very constructive feedback, and the feedback that we've been getting has been so great. I mean, that's why we wanted to take it out and get everybody to contribute. And we've had things like, we don't like the color of the blue, we don't like that many stars, we want to change, we don't like the triangle, or we want to move the ndavui. We think the ndavui is great, but we want to move it to the side. And these are things that we want to take into account. We're not going to put out a flag that no one wants.
Well, what we've gotten so far, or at least an understanding from the people of Fiji, is yes, they were for the change of the flag, but what I think the outburst was,
Yes.
it seemed so final that these were the 23. And again, it can still change. And like you'd said, we'd still love to hear from you. And that's what you could do right here on this show. Call us up in studio, 3220906, 3220907, or you could text in to 825. That's open to all mobile users. And of course, you can always email us on goldfm@mbc.com.fj. Questions to the members of the Secretariat of the National Flag Committee, Bernie and Tima, here in studio with me, and they'll be very happy to answer your questions. And if you've also got Twitter, you can tweet us or even tweet the National Flag Committee. And there is a Twitter handle.
Yes, it's at New Fiji Flag. So we're available on social media to make your comments and your feedback. So
Well, I've got a caller here on the line, so they've dropped again. So, if you would like to ask a question, feel free to do so. Now, the first team, as you said, will be headed out across the country.
yes.
And when do you expect the first teams in? Are they already in different centers already?
We have a team that's leaving for Kandavu tonight at 10 p.m. and they're going to be they're working in with the Eastern
with the
Commission
PA
Eastern.
and the Rokutui in Kandavu. So if you're listening now from Kandavu, you could contact your Roko and he would be able to give you the details. So they're coming across tonight and they will give you feedback forms. They're also bringing the posters. We've already airlifted the posters. They should be in your main centers already. But we're giving out little forms that you can fill to let us know what you think about the 23 flags or what you feel should be reflected in the flags.
And another team is set to leave for Lao tomorrow or the day after. So we're trying to cover the Eastern Division and our maritime areas as well. We don't want to leave any stone unturned.
Now, there is no limit to the Fijians that can give their ideas, right?
No.
All ages?
All ages.
We've got
Abroad,
submissions
yeah.
from people from schools, and so we'd welcome suggestions. If you're in school or if you're in uni, or any person can give us feedback.
Right, please feel free to also find the information on their website, and it's www.newfijiflag.com. And you can also text in with your own comments to Vodafone text code 323 and Digicel text code 170. We'll be right back with more discussions on the new Fiji flag. We've got members of the new Fiji Flag Committee the Secretariat in studio this afternoon, and we'll chat more with them right after this short break on Gold FM Speak Your Mind. Welcome back to Gold FM's Speak Your Mind, and I'm joined in studio by Bernie and Tima from, the National Flag Committee Secretariat, and chatting about the new Fiji flag. I know that many of you have had this conversation, or at least a discussion of it, in the last couple of days, and here to clarify a few things with regards to how the processes have come through with choosing the new flag and how it's going to be. Well, these lovely ladies are going to chat with me a little bit more. Now, a lot of criticism also has come since the announcement of the flag, choosing a new flag and a new national symbol. And I'm sure you've heard many of these criticisms, but let's go back to how it was done in 1970. Our flag that we proudly call our own, and we're about to change to a new symbol. Now, comparing the processes, obviously, back in 1970, there weren't as many entries.
Yes, thanks. Let me just clarify a few things. Back in 1970, they ran the national flag competition, and it ran for a month. There were only 410 submissions, and the flag was chosen, I think, in the span of a day. The competition closed on the 26th of June 1970. On the 27th of June 1970, they launched the new Fiji flag, and that was chosen by 4 cabinet ministers.
Only 4 cabinet
Only
ministers.
4 cabinet ministers that chose. I think this new Fiji flag will have a more consultative process. We have a committee of 13 members of the public who aren't involved at all in the government, except for the Honourable Assistant Minister. And so we can say, being in the room on the days, that there were different voices that were being heard. And I think that was what was important about having people from the public, that these different voices were being heard, different aspects of different facets of the country. So, and I think we all wanted to put together a flag that was representative of all the people of Fiji, to use symbols that represented all the people of Fiji without leaving anybody or anyone out.
Now, with these symbols, there were also, when the initial flag competition was put out, there was a guideline. And the guideline said in it that it would keep the blue, the Fiji blue that we've come to recognize as our own. And also there were certain other elements that were put in, like, one, we were removing the Union Jack.
Yes.
And we were also looking at symbols. One was we were still looking to truly identify us as Fijians, but also moving away from certain, too much of religious aspects and of the sort. Now, how did they come about, or how did the committee have to? I mean, or who made these? Whose decision was it to have these elements, or have them, of those guidelines for the initial flag competition?
I think to answer that question, we'd have to tell you more about what's in the current flag at the moment.
Right.
So on the canton on the flag is the Union Jack. Now, if for people who travel overseas, before they know you, when they see your flag, the first thing they ask you is, are you a colony of Fiji?
Okay.
But we've been independent for 45 years, and I think it is about time that we find a flag that represents that sovereignty and independence of the country. And also the other thing that's on the flag, on both the shield and on the Union Jack, is the Cross of St. George.
Right.
The Cross of St. George and the lion. So these are both symbols that are linked to the UK. So these are some things that we need to move away from and start finding symbols that represent us as Fijians.
I think because people have become so used to these symbols that they think that removing them would be, it's a change. And naturally, as all humans, we are not susceptible quite to change, especially when it's that immediate.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But in the current flag that we have, they have things like the bananas and the cocoa pods and the lion. The lion represents the British monarchy. And then we have the cocoa pods and the bananas, which were our biggest industry back
At
in the
that
day.
time.
At that time.
Yeah.
I don't think that anyone in this day, with the modern country that we have, knows the significance of that anymore. So we're trying to find some symbols for a young person nowadays who can go out and say, okay, this is something that I can identify with.
Now, so you've obviously received some ideas of what could be put in the flag. Apart from these, what were some of the ideas that you've received so far? I understand you were with the Itoke station yesterday,
Yes.
and there were some constructive suggestions. And what were some of them?
Okay.
On the Itoke station, we had a lot of people calling in asking for the cross to be put on the flag. But one thing we need to understand is that we're a multicultural and multi-religious country. So if we put the cross on, we've got to put everybody else's religious symbol on, which is going to be difficult, and the flag will come out looking too busy. So what we need is just like simple symbols that represent all of us, that it cuts across all cultures and all religions.
Yes.
Now, I understand there was also the vexiologist that was also on hand to consult with the committee and gave some interesting outlook on how a flag should actually look like. And in fact, some of I think one of the ideas that he'd pointed out was our actual flag, the Fiji flag that we know, is actually quite a bit it is quite
It
complicated.
is quite
Yeah.
complicated. He drew comparisons with the situation that happened in Canada, who had a flag very similar to the one we have now. And when they became independent, they went through this whole process as well. So this is not new to the world. And as you know now, the Canadian flag is the maple leaf against the red and the white. And so his idea was that it's complicated, but we can make things a bit simpler that represents everybody. I think one of the best points he made was, instead of having something on the flag to represent every group, have one thing on the flag to represent everybody in the nation. And I think that was one of the important aspects that came out in the committee meeting.
That's very interesting, because now we've got to just, with the most difficult thing
Yeah.
we thought that would be so easy is to find that one symbol, or at
Yes,
least
exactly.
that simple symbol.
I think as you listen to how that works out, you understand how the final flags came to be. Why there's only one symbol,
It's
or
based on principles. You know, it's
Yeah.
not like a painting that you can make it. People are saying it's not colorful enough. No, there's a set of principles we need to follow when it comes to flag design.
All right, we'll continue our discussion right after this short break. I'm sure, ladies, if you feel free to also call us up, 3220906 and 3220907. We continue our discussion right after this short break on our new Fiji flag designs. Welcome back to Gold FM Speak Your Mind, and we continue our discussion this afternoon with the new Fiji flag, the designs and the search for a symbol that truly represents Fiji. And how do you feel about it? And here in studio, Bernie and Tima from the National Flag Committee Secretariat. And just before we touch on symbolism, let's take this caller, Mr. Kumar, Anup Kumar from Nosori, and a very good afternoon to you, Mr. Kumar.
Hello, sir.
Now-
I want to know, apart from Fiji, any other countries who change their flag?
Could you please
Can I
repeat? Could you just repeat that, Mr. Kumar?
Apart from Fiji, any other countries who change their flag? And another question is mine. And what is the main reason, or what is the main issue that this flag will be changing? And something is wrong, or because this flag is Fiji, we know from this flag, plenty people know Fiji. So what is the main issue? What is the main reason that this flag will be changing?
Thank you very much, Mr. Kumar. All right, I will allow Tima or Bernie to answer that question. Now, his first part of the question was: is there been any other country that has changed its flag? And I think his second part really was linked with his third question was why the reasons why the change.
right.
And I think that's basically what a lot have also been asking. Why do we need the change in the national flag?
So some of the countries that have changed their flag, I think we've talked about earlier, is one of them is Canada. South Africa has changed its flag, and New Zealand is in the process of changing their flag.
That's right.
So one of the main reasons, like as we've said earlier, is that we need to change the symbols on the flag. Just in terms of the Union Jack taking a good proportion of our flag and on the top, and in terms of the shield itself, the symbolism in the shield is no longer relevant and outdated. So we need to find symbols that best reflect us as a nation or best reflect our people. So that's why we're trying to change the flag. And also a good point is that the change of the flag was announced in 2013 by the Prime Minister. And after that announcement, we went on to the elections. So he was elected by a large majority of people in Fiji and now has come into government. So from 2013 till now, we haven't, it's been public knowledge that the flag change was going to happen. And so right now we're just implementing what government has set out in order to change the flag to find symbols that are more relevant and
Relevant to the new Fiji. And also, well, that's a lot of the questions that have also arose in the last couple of days is the symbols on the flag.
Okay.
And that we've been talking about. Now, let's talk a little bit about the meaning of these symbols that have been proposed in the 23 designs.
Okay, thank you, Pedali. I think what we need to lead with now is that there were basic principles of the flag design. So there were 5 basic principles that were provided to the committee, and the first one was to keep it simple. One of the things that stands out is that the flag should be so simple that a child can draw it from memory. I think at this point,
Right.
with a flag so complex as the current one that we have now, if you were to sit a class 5 or class 4 student down and ask them to draw the flag, they would draw aspects of it but not really know what it means to them. The second principle was to use meaningful symbolism. If you were to look at the flags now, you would notice that the first thing that was confirmed was that we would stick with our noble banner blue, the Fiji blue of our current flag right now, and that's got several meanings. It's supposed to represent peace, serenity, and freedom, and solidarity with our island nations. Then we have the yellow that you'll be able to see there. Yes, that represents radiance, life, sustenance, and a new beginning. It recalls the sun in Fiji's place as the land of the first rising sun, as you can see on, I think, 51. Most represents
Okay, right there.
that. First dawn, first land of the first rising sun. The dark blue that you'll be able to see in several designs, that represents prosperity, trust, dignity, and intelligence, and represents the depth of Fiji's culture and Fiji's history. We have the red that you can see up at the Tangi Modia and in the Ndrua, and that represents the strength, the energy, and the passion of the Fijian people. The sun that you can see in the stars, in 51, yes, the sun again represents the land of the rising sun, and talks about our tropical location. It represents health, light, life, and energy, as well as the warmth of the Fijian people, which is well known around the globe. That's what the Fijian people are known for. We have several triangles that you can see in 52, 53, and that's supposed to represent Fiji moving forward together as one people. We have the stars to represent the guidance, navigation, and direction, and it's supposed to symbolize the gallantry of the Fijian people. We have, as you can see in 53 and 38, as well as 36, we have 3 stars. 3 represents the 3 independent branches of government as a strong and vibrant democracy and our constitution, and they represent the executive, the judiciary, and the legislature. Right. 7 is a number that you can see, yes, at 45, and that symbolizes like a sort of good omen for a lot of Fijians. We received a lot of concepts that discussed 7 as a good omen. We have the Tangi Modia, which a lot of people may be very familiar with. That's supposed to represent blessings, courage, and peace. And it's unique to Fiji and found only in the island of Taveuni. The turtle that you can see represents the blessings, represents humility, the humility of the Fijian people, as well as our strength and our patience and our perseverance. The vui that you can also see there is supposed to represent community and respect. It's the call of the nation to come together as one people. Then you can also see that the vui is also, the Ndrua plays a very big role there, because the Ndrua represents Fiji's past, our present, and our future, and our voyage as one people and one nation. The tapa down the bottom, as you may all know, is a very Fijian, it represents our mini islands with its dark brown, and our past with its geometric and triangle elements. And in 57, there is a coconut tree there, which we all know as represents the sustenance and versatility of the Fijian people. So I think
And the 7th team.
and the seventh team.
And
If
the
you wanna
Sense team.
throw something in there, yeah.
That's my vote.
Well, that's
Yeah.
definitely the explanations of the symbols on the 23 designs that we have here. And it's very important that this is still not the final design.
Yes.
And once again, for the benefit of our listeners, you can send in your comments and preferences to... All right, I'll let you read it.
Thanks. We would like to get people to come to www.newfijiflag.com. There you'll find a survey that's more qualitative. You'll be able to tell us the difference and what you want to change, how you want to change it, and that's what's important for us. You can also text the short codes of the flags. Say if you really are moved by flag 47, text the number 47 to 323 for Vodafone or 170 for Digicel. We also have newfijiflag@gmail.com that you can email your submissions to, as well as you can drop your submissions to the Department of Information and Government Buildings or post it to PO Box 2225 Government Buildings in Suva.
Also, if you have flag designs that you'd like to draw out based on these concepts, we welcome that also. If you could drop it off at Department of Information, or if you could email it to us.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And for
Pilari.
clarifying a little bit more about our national symbol, the new Fiji flag. And we'll continue after this short break with a little bit of music because it's Fête de la Musique. We'll chat a little bit more about this from the friends from Alliance Française right after this on Speak Your Mind. Welcome back to Gold FM's Speak Your Mind, and we switch from the national flag to something that we love, and that's music. And, well, it's one whole week of celebrating music, and I'm joined by my friends from Alliance Française. Bonjour and bienvenue au Gold FM Speak Your Mind. And I'm going to ask the ladies to introduce themselves just because I want to hear a little bit of French accent on the show. So I'll allow Fanny first to go.
So good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon. I'm Fanny, and I'm working at the French Embassy for the Cultural Department.
And good afternoon. My name is Sylvie, and I work at the Alliance Française as an event and media coordinator.
All right, so ladies, the Fête de la Musique, the program has actually started with a march, launching it in the capital city, Suva. And tell us the reasons by a whole week, and also why have the Fête de la Musique here in Fiji.
So the Fête de la Musique, it's an annual event in France. It's celebrated every year on June 21st since 1982. So it's a French government initiative to promote music for everybody, so the public, but also amateurs and professional, and they perform all the way in the streets. And now the event is celebrated in more than 150 countries in the world, so it's starting to be spread all around the world on the 5 continents. And in Fiji, it started in the late 90s to be celebrated here. And it started as just one concert on one afternoon, and then we tried to make it bigger and bigger in every year.
Now, this year, Fête de la Musique, it's in Fiji. We're having it at... Where's the different events being held?
This year, the event lasts for one full week, and it started this morning with a masterclass at the FNU at Hawaii, and it goes on tomorrow with a concert at the ICT at the USP, and then there will be a huge concert on Friday afternoon at the Fiji Museum.
So this is the main event of Fête de la Musique, the big free concert on Friday.
Now, this is what we're really looking forward to, yes? Now, with the masterclass, with working with FNU, is there a special artist that is here?
So, because Fête de la Musique is French, we have every year a guest of honor who is coming from one of the French territories of the Pacific. So, it's usually New Caledonia. And this year, the band is the Gypsy Jazz Band, and it's a band of 3 musicians, Michel Trabelsi, Stéphane Fernandez, and Brice Prudent. And the 3 of them, they play guitar. So they were doing the masterclass this morning at FNU, and they play a really different kind of jazz, which is not the usual American jazz you can hear. It's gypsy jazz. It's come from Eastern Europe, and it was created by Django Reinhardt and Stéphane Grappelli. And so they will perform tomorrow for free at the ICT Japan Center in USP with local artists as well. That's the aim of Fête de la Musique, to have our French artists, but for them to play as well with the Fijian
The
artists.
Fiji artists.
Yeah. So they will play with Tom Maui, Kathy Wonga, and also the Dolce Sound Choir.
Oh, it should be very, very interesting. So for music lovers listening in or watching this evening, now please make the time to come to these wonderful performances. Now I'm looking forward to this on Friday, definitely. Now, Sylvie, if you can tell us a little bit about the free open stage. Now, what is that about?
Yeah, like I was saying, the free open stage will be held on Friday at the Fiji Museum. It starts at 3:30 p.m. and lasts until late in the evening. So this event is totally free, so you can come enjoy and you won't have to pay nothing. And it's an event for friends and family. And so the afternoon will be dedicating first to the kids. We will have school choirs performing, as well as one of our students who learn French. I will be also be singing a song. So I'm excited about it. After that, as Fanny was saying, it's also the point is to give amateurs band the opportunity to perform for the first time in front of a crowd. So we will have 5 amateurs bands on the day, and they will play on Friday at the Fiji Museum. And even the teacher of the Alliance Française will be performing 2 songs.
Really? So the teachers too are performing?
Yeah, even the teachers.
Okay.
So it's really open to everyone, the one who wants to sing and the one who wants to listen to good music.
And we have also like the professional ones coming. So Inside Out, Tom Maui, Vo, Liza Vulacoro, and Rocco Pacifica. And the Gypsy Jazz Band, they will come and perform as well on Friday.
Well, I'm really looking forward to this. Now, there's also a couple of other features that's happening. And I believe one of our very own rugby players, and who's now calling himself a Frenchman now. But yes, he's definitely spent a few years in France and has, I'm sure, adapted the French culture. Mr. Akapusi Guerra is also featured on what is he going to be doing?
Yes, he kindly accepted our invitation to come at the Fiji Museum. He was there on Saturday as well for the march.
For the march.
So yes, and he accepted to come, and he will be there with his family. And so, if you want to see him, to meet him, talk to him, even take picture or getting some advice on how to become a best Fijian player, rugby player, you should join us on Friday afternoon.
On Friday afternoon.
At the Fiji Museum.
All right, we'll continue right after this short break with my friends from the Alliance Française. We're talking about Fête de la Musique and also your questions regarding, well, what other events and how successful has this event been? We'll find out right after this short break. Welcome back to Gold FM, Speak Your Mind, and we're chatting with my friends from Alliance Française, the Fête de la Musique, an event that happens each year annually on June the 21st. Now, June the 21st is also a significant date because in the Northern Hemisphere, it marks the beginning of summer. And here in Fiji, it marks the beginning of winter. No, kidding. I'm joking. Stakin. Now, the event on Friday, the free open stage, also has a lot of other things happening. There's not only the music, but there's also going to be great French food, I'm hoping.
Yes, there will be a lot of activities and food and beverage. So if you come with your families, there will be a lot of activities for kids. There will be a magician who will give a free show. There will also be a face painter for the kids who will be there to entertain them. And Tuckers will also kindly distribute free ice cream at the beginning of the afternoon.
Oh.
So if you come after 5 o'clock, you can get free ice creams and free T-shirts.
So that includes the adults too, yeah?
Of course.
Now, yeah.
Yeah, there will be also food and beverage as well for kids and adults. Thanks to the Hot Bread Kitchen and Top Dog Catering. And the Alliance Française staff will be making homemade crepe for all of you.
All right. Well, that's
miss it.
definitely not to be missed. Yeah. Now this Friday starts at 3:30 at the Fiji
Yes.
Museum. Now this is you two have been involved in this event in its organization for a couple of years now. How was it? How have you been finding it? What has it been like? Has it been great? Has it been successful?
It's getting better and better. As I said at the beginning, it was only a one-day free concert. Now it's getting like it lasts 1 week, and the free concert it's always like a real success. Like people they come, they enjoy, and because it's a whole afternoon, they come, they go, they come back. Some of them stay the whole time, so that's the good point. And with our guest of honor from New Caledonia. Now what we do is they don't only come and perform, they do the masterclass, and this is the second year now that we're doing masterclass, and we realize that the students are really, really happy with that because they discover a new kind of music or new way to play with an instrument. That's what happened today with the guitar, because here in Fiji this is, I don't know, I can say like the national instrument, and they were really impressed to see what a musician can do with a guitar, like new kind of music, new kind of jazz. So it was a real success.
Oh, I'm glad because, as you said, yeah, definitely here in Fiji, we love having the guitar around. If you walk around many households,
right.
you'll find a guitar there. So for learning purposes, is this something that we will also have again next year, we hope?
Yeah, we hope so. And the musician, the one we choose, usually they are also teachers. So it's really easy for them as well. You can see it. They really share their passion, their music, and they explain to the students really well all about the history of their music. So it's really interesting. And because this year is Gypsy Jazz comes from Django Reinhardt, which is a French guitarist.
Okay.
We also have an exhibition on Django Reinhardt going on from Friday. So it will be on at the Fiji Museum on Friday and for 1 month.
So opens on Friday and carries on for 1 whole month.
Yeah.
Excellent, excellent. So that's definitely something else to look forward to. And, just wrapping up the show, insisting again that everyone comes and on Friday. And there's other events that are happening before Friday, right?
Yes, so tomorrow is
Tomorrow.
the big concert at ICT in USP with the local artists. So, by the way, if you want to join, it's totally free. You just have to register to the embassies at like 331-0526. Otherwise, you can just pop in USB and
If
you
it's
will be
not too
allowed.
full.
So
If it's
that's
not
a
full,
problem.
then you'll be allowed
And
in.
it's from 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
And beside that, the band will also perform at Traps Bar on Saturday evening from 8:30, along with the wine tasting. So this is a special night organized by Traps.
Okay.
And on Sunday 21st, which is the day of Music Day in France, they will be in Bad Dog Cafe, Damodar City, and they will be performing from 3:30 to 4:30.
And again, these are the same artists. Will they be joined by some of the local artists?
In Traps, they will be alone. In Bad Dog Cafe, they will perform just before Tamawi, so they might play together. We
I'm
don't know.
hoping that will happen.
Yeah.
Thank you again, ladies, for joining us. And we're looking forward to, there's a few more events. Yes, would you like to
Yes.
share?
I just would
Thanks.
like to thank our sponsors,
Of course.
Of course.
which are the government of New Caledonia, Total, Tuckers, and Stashtech, for allowing us to organize this full week of concert and events. And I would also like to say that if you want to get the full program of the Fête de la Musique, you can go on the Alliance Française and French Embassy Facebook page and Twitter, or call us at 331-3802.
Thank you very much for joining us, ladies.
you.
And we're looking forward to seeing you at the various events. The concert tomorrow,
Yep.
and on Friday,
Yep.
and then at Bad Dog on Sunday.
And on Saturday.
And on
Traps.
Saturday. Thank you again. And we're looking forward to seeing you enjoying Fête de la Musique this year, 2015, here in, Fiji. We hope that you enjoyed the show this evening. And again, tune in next week for another episode of Gold FM Speak Your Mind. Modi.